Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, and salutation and much love to you, Akim, out there pushing out this word of truth and sincerity. And bear with me one second. And I just want to do a quick video on this article I came across. Actually, hold on. Make sure nobody calls me. Alright, so, just want to do a quick video on this article. It's on express.co.uk. Okay, it's entitled World War III Warning. Trump's risky Iran strategy could spark huge conflict, says expert. All right, and if you've been paying attention, what's going on around the world, geopolitical wise, and these tariffs that are being pushed out. All right, the trade wars that are taking place. You can see that it's all leading towards a physical war, so to say. Okay, it's all escalating. All right, and then good old Trump, DJ Trump is he's the one pushing his, the elites are using him to push out their agenda. Okay, but nonetheless, let me just read a couple of this. Not gonna read the whole thing, obviously, but brothers can get it, if they want to read the whole thing. Let's see here. Let me read here. Mr. Trump's remarks were apparently triggered. Or actually, let me just read up here. It says, Dana Allen, senior fellow for U.S. Foreign Policy and Transatlantic Affairs at the International, what the hell? For Strategic Studies, IISS, made his remarks at the end of a month, which has seen Mr. Trump lash out at Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, threatening him with severe consequences, as well as incident in which a Saudi oil tanker was attacked by Iran-backed Houthi rebels from Yemen. Mr. Trump's remarks were apparently triggered by speech by Mr. Rouhani, in which he told the U.S. not to pull the tiger's tail, adding that a conflict with Iran would be the mother of all wars. All right, and why is that? All right, it's because Iran is backed by different countries. Okay, different countries are importing oil from Iran. All right, meaning that they're allies with Iran, and Iran has nuclear capabilities. Okay, so that's why America hasn't invaded them yet. Which that's what their whole agenda is about. They're just trying to get into Iran now. Okay, because Iran has a great resource of oil. Okay, let's see here. Obviously, a potential for escalatory incidences leading to a military conflict. It's fraught with risk. Even if regime change happens, there is nothing in our experience which would suggest that follows would be better. This is what happened in Iraq. Meanwhile, the invasion of Iran would be unhinged and a disaster unparalleled in U.S. history. All right, so what Iran is talking about is they're trying to say, okay, well, this is what y'all try to do in Iraq, and look at the condition of Iraq right now. All right, Iraq's in shambles. All right, after what? After the U.S. went in there to make a regime change. All right, they wanted to supposedly take out Saddam Hussein, which he was set up by the CIA anyway. But look at the condition of Iraq right now. Okay, that all they're doing is trying to get in there and make the place even worse off than it supposedly is right now. Okay, and if you see that the EU is starting to side with Iran. Okay, if you've been paying attention to the main, not the mainstream media, but alternative sources. All right, so he added, now people are trying to imagine creating a strategy around these destructive impulses. He can cause Iran a lot of pain, but not the kind of pain which Obama was able to engineer as a result of the very impressive coalition he put together. He can also punish EU allies with secondary sanctions for trading with Iran, and the EU is relatively powerless to fight back against that. All right, so what? Trump is trying to put sanctions as well as on Iran, but he's also putting them on EU countries that are going to continue to trade with Iran. All right, so that's going to lead up to Revelation chapter 17, where it says that the horns, all right, shall hate the beat, or so like the horns shall hate the whore. All right, when that whore being America, and the horns being the EU. Okay, so it's all being set up. The stage is being set up, and ultimately, this is where the war Armageddon is going to take place out there in the Middle East, mainly in the Saudi Arabia, area. But it's Iran's gonna be a spark to it. Okay, like it says here, it could spark a huge conflict. All right, the Valley of Jehoshaphat is out there in the Middle East. Okay, and it's coming to pass as we speak. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring out a couple precepts here. This is Joel chapter 3 verse 2. I also will gather all nations. Well, actually, hold on. Let me go back to this article. There was a point I wanted to hit on. Let's see where it's at. All right, here goes. China and India, for example, are going to continue to import Iranian oil no matter what. Recreating the coalition against Iran is going to be impossible. So look, there goes to show you that China and India are with Iran. All right, because why? Because they're importing oil. That's one of their allies. They're importing a major amount of oil from Iran, and Russia has countless times proven that they back Iran. All right, Syria, okay, and various other countries. All right, and Russia, we'll get that scripture too, is a guard unto these nations. All right, because ultimately those are going to be the big boys. All right, leading the charge to destroy America. Russia, all right, China, Iran, okay, India as well. They have I think third or maybe the fourth largest nuclear arsenal, third or fourth, something like that. I know they're top 5. All right, so all these countries that are in cahoots with Iran are the top dogs when it comes to nuclear capabilities. Okay, so Joel 3 and 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them. Or in that word in the Hebrew, Jehoshaphat is Yahweh Shaphat, means the Yahweh's judgment or the Lord's judgment. All right, and that just so happens to be in the Middle East. All right, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. All right, so the Lord's gonna plead with all nations out there in the Middle East, man. That's why you have all different nations out there, especially America. Look how many military bases America has out in the Middle East. All right, look how many other countries are in the Middle East right now. Okay, how many different armies there are in the Middle East from different nations. Okay, because why? Because the Lord is preparing the ultimate showdown out there in the Middle East. Okay. All right, jump down to verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All right, so where is that going to take place, man? That war, that ultimate war, the World War III, the war to end all wars is going to take place, all right, first and foremost in the Middle East, okay? That's where this battle is going to be mainly fought at, okay? All the mighty men are going to go up over there, man. They're going to draw near unto the valley of Jehoshaphat, all right? And that's where the Lord shall plead with them, all right? Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. All right, so the plowshares into swords and the pruning hooks into spears, meaning all these countries invest in money into their military. All right, look what America's doing. They keep putting money into their defense systems. They're trying to start a space force. All right, and you got all these other countries now up in their investment into the military. All right, they're putting more of their GDP, all right, into military purposes. All right, and then it says, let the weak say I'm strong, because here it is a couple years ago, a couple decades ago, all right, these countries didn't have nothing to say, such as North Korea, Iran, okay, all these other countries. But what, now they can say that I am strong because what, they have nuclear capability. So America just can't go in there and invade their shit anymore, all right, like they have been doing for decades. All right, now they can retaliate with nuclear capabilities. All right, and then nobody wants to pull the trigger just yet, all right, because the Lord's holding it back. But it will come to pass real soon, man. And that's what you think, they just keep continuing to make nuclear weapons for no reason? Nah, man, the Lord is preparing their arsenals, all right, so when that day comes, all right, everybody's gonna use all of them, man. All right. Assemble, verse 11, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. All right, so the mighty ones, meaning the men of war, the militaries, are going to come down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, okay? All right, you're going to have England out there. You're going to have France, all right, Germany, Korean troops out there, Russian troops out there, Turkish, all right, you're going to have Ethiopian troops out there, Libyan troops out there, Yemen, Okay, all these nations are gonna come, Indian, Pakistan, all right, all of them people are gonna come to fight this battle, okay? All the heathen, including 2/3 of our people, which are gonna join the armies like an idiot, like morons, or get drafted, all right? All right, let me jump down. Actually, let me go to Zephaniah, Zephaniah 3. All right, the Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. All right, so the Lord is gathering all these heathens, all these nations together to pour out His indignation upon them, man. And what is the weapons of His indignation? Is those nuclear missiles. All right, let's get that real quick. Boom. I think it's Isaiah 13, actually. Well, let me get that real quick. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So what is that? That's talking about the nuclear missiles, all right? Those ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right? So, because they can be shot off from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, all right? And what can destroy the whole land, which will destroy the whole land of America, all right, is those nuclear missiles which capabilities now are tremendous, all right? They're ridiculous. The destruction force behind them is outrageous on them. All right, but back in Zephaniah 3 and 8, that I may assemble the kingdoms, pour upon them mine indignation, and we just brought out what the weapons of his indignation are. All right, the things that are going to destroy the whole land. They come from one end of they come from the heavens, because what they get shot up into the ozone, right, and then they come down and destroy the land. All right, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right. Literally, the whole world's not going to be burned up, but there's going to be the majority of the land is going to be burned up. All right, but here in America, it's going to be completely demolished. All right, completely burned up. No ifs, ands, buts about it. All right, let's go back to Isaiah 13 and go to that. All right, let's go to Isaiah 13 and 4. The noise of a multitude of the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. All right, so the Lord is gathering all these nations, man. So they can shoot missiles upon each other, man. All right, and then you go to John, verse 6. It says, "How you, for the day of Yahweh is at hand; it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty." Man, so the day of the Lord, this World War III, all the calamities that's going to take place leading up to the day of the Lord, all right, it's going to be destruction from the Almighty. All right, that's why the Lord said nation against nation. So ultimately, they can shoot these missiles upon each other and just destroy each other. All right, mainly here in America. Okay, it's not far fetched. Okay, it's not rocket science. That's what World War III is going to end with. All right, Jeremiah 15:25. Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, man. All right, so ultimately, those nuclear missiles, the majority of them is gonna hit here in America. Okay, so it utterly destroy this place, man. Okay, that's what the Lord is proposing here. That's what the Lord is gonna bring to come to pass. All right, and concerning that article, all right, these nations are being backed by Russia. All right, specifically Iran in this situation. Okay, let me Ezekiel 38 and where is it at? I'll start at 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, which is modern day Russia, the chief priests of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses, and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords. All right, so the Lord's gonna, turn them back into what the time when they were the Soviet Union, where they completely hated America, and they still do hate America. But now the Lord is changing that spirit back, putting the spirit back on these Russians. All right, to go back into that Soviet Union or the Soviet era. All right, spirit. Okay. Verse 5, Persia, which would be modern day Iran, all right, Afghanistan, I believe, as well. All right, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. So those are allies of Russia right there, okay? Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people. So these are explaining all the allies that Russia has, okay? And guess what? Persia is one of those. That's why America, if they invade Iran, it's going to be all out chaos and all out war. All right, verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. So all these nations that are assembling themselves with Russia or siding with Russia. All right, the scripture is saying prepare thyself. All right, prepare thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So that's what Russia's doing. All right, that's why America hasn't invaded them. All right, that's why America backed off of Syria. All right, because Russia is being that guard unto them. Okay. And ultimately, Russia's gonna be one of the chief nations leading the charge to destroy America. All right, but with that, I don't want to watch this out. This is edifying. America's gonna be destroyed soon, man. The World War III is at hand. All right, the nations are being gathered in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, Yahweh Shaphat. All right, the Andros 9. Shalom.